Who is your club's most important player? That's right, ladies and gents. In today's video, I will be breaking down all 20 Premier League clubs and giving you your most important player for every club, whether that be to push for a title, to get European football, avoid relegation. Each team has a player who I think is so uniquely key to their side and being successful this season. We're going from top to bottom and giving you every single club's most important player. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below and let's get straight into it. We're starting off with Arsenal, and for me it has to be Declan Rice. Yeah, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Vítor Gyökeres, all up there. But for me, Declan Rice is that guy that gets the cogs turning for this Arsenal side. You think back to the Champions League quarter-final versus Real Madrid. It was his two fantastic free kicks that inspired that side. He is a heartbeat of this club. He is a leader on the football pitch. He makes things happen. And with Martin Zubimendi joining and playing in that double pivot alongside Declan Rice, it has the opportunity now for him to drive on and be that proper box-to-box midfield. Started slow last season, but once he started going come November time into the back end of the season, he was single-handedly driving that Arsenal side over the line. He has goals in his game, he has assists in his game, he has composure and control, and he will be pivotal this season for Arsenal. If he's more involved, if he's driving them forward, Arsenal are still a real chance to bring home this Premier League title. So Declan Rice for me is Arsenal's most important player. We now jump across to Aston Villa, and their most important player for me is Morgan Rogers. The young attacking midfield player has so many avenues to try and score goals, to make things happen in the final third. Coming off a fantastic season last time out, 14 goals and 13 assists. It sort of escaped my memory how well of a season he had. It's now, going on 18 months at the football club, has just hit the ground running in the Premier League, has made it a league of his own. Whenever he's heavily involved, Aston Villa are making things happen in the final third. And where Ollie Watkins missed last season, he certainly hit. And Aston Villa have had a quiet off-season. They were due to have a quiet off-season due to FFP. But this season, with a similar type of squad and the same core players, Morgan Rogers will be the dictator of how well they can go. If he elevates his game once again to the next level, you can see them back up into the Champions League spots. If not, they lack that real quality in the final third. And it's all down to Morgan Rogers, really, how well they go this season. So Morgan Rogers is Aston Villa's most important player for me. Next up is Bournemouth, and for me, Antoine Semenyo is their most important player. Had a very good season last year, but not a great season. And I think they'll need a great season from him this season. With the likes of Ilias Arbani looking on the way out, Dean Huijsen on the way out, Kirkes has left as well. It's not going to be a strong defence. The midfield is going to be very similar. But if they want to elevate themselves this season, it's about being more clinical in the final third. Kluivert, Evanilson, Tavernier were arguably better in and around the goal face. Antoine Semenyo, really good in the build-up, but that final end product for me was what he was lacking. 11 goals and 5 assists last season was solid. They need a little bit more from him and be a little bit more clinical this season. He has all the physical attributes, his size, his speed, his physicality, but it's about if he can be clinical in and around goal. That's the difference. For me, Antoine Semenyo is Bournemouth's most important player. If he goes well, Bournemouth could be knocking on the European door once again. Brentford's most important player for me has to be Jordan Henderson. The man returns back to the Premier League, a former Champions League winner, a former Premier League winner, a Premier League great as well. Again, his skill set isn't probably at the level of Christian Norgard, but his heart, his intensity, defensive IQ, his smarts on the football is definitely something that can be replicated from what Norgard brought to this club. They lost a lot of talent. They lost a lot of key players and their manager from the last 3 seasons. But if someone can hold this club together and keep them afloat in the Premier League, Jordan Henderson can do that. I'll give him 4 games to warm up and to get up to speed with the league. But then as we go into the season from the 5th game onwards, I think he'll be so pivotal to keeping Brentford in the Premier League. Composure in the football, defensive IQ, and physicality in the midfield. He'll need to win some midfield battles to keep Brentford in the league, and I think he'll do that. Jordan Henderson, number 1 on Brentford's list for their most important player this season. Next up is Brighton, and their most important player is Jean-Paul Van Hecke for me. Someone that's not often talked about. Often people skip over his name, like Lewis Dunk, the holding midfielders of Belieber and co. Not many people talk about this man, but when he is there versus when he's not there is a stark difference. Brighton are a great in the eye type team, ball retention type team, but what Jean-Paul Van Hecke brings to the football club is a bit of grit, a bit of no nonsense, and that's what you need at times when it's all about fancy one-touch football. Someone just to get the job done, be that brute at the back, and that's what he is. Last season, averaged 5 clearances and 4 ball recoveries per game. He was very, very important for this Brighton side. You obviously got Lewis Dunk next to him, but he, I think, is that key centrepiece for them. He holds things together. He makes them look more balanced and more safe defensively. And I think with him in there for longer periods of time this season, trying to avoid some injuries, he can then propel Brighton up the table and maybe potentially knock on the door of European football. He's pivotal, goes under the radar, but super important for this Brighton and Hove Albion side. Burnley's most important player for me is Maxime Esteve. They've come off a historic season in the Championship. 30 clean sheets Esteve was a part of, and it was about keeping clean sheets. It was about being defensively solid in the Championship, which Burnley will have to replicate in the Premier League. It's a whole next level, but if they're going to do it, they're going to rely on Maxime Esteve. He's got now Kyle Walker alongside him. They've brought in some more talent defensively. They're going to be a very, very solid side at the back. It's going to be very important. They are, though, this season, grinding out 0-0s, grinding out 1-0 wins, 2-1 wins. It's going to be down to him and his defensive back four to keep that happening. If Burnley stay up, I'm thinking it's going to be 10 to 15 clean sheets required this season. That's asking a hell of a lot from a side that's just come up to the Premier League. But him and his defensive backline are going to have to do that. I think as Esteve, as that central defender, a very, very capable defender, he will be pivotal to that. If Burnley stay up, Esteve has a career season, to look to him to be Burnley's most important player in this upcoming season. Cole Palmer is who I believe is Chelsea's most important player this season. They have a plethora of names in this side here. But what we saw last season was Cole Palmer's performance slightly drop off, but everyone else rise around him. If we can get the Cole Palmer from 2023, 2024 to join this Chelsea side, which we saw last season and which we saw in the Club World Cup, they have a serious chance to go and contend for this Premier League title. Reece James staying a little bit more fit. Enzo and Caicedo looking fantastic in midfield. Xavi Simons rumoured to be joining the football club. Hato joining at the back. Cucurella in fantastic form. João Pedro scoring goals. They've got a capable squad now around Cole Palmer. He is that centrepiece. He's the X factor. He's the star player. If we can get these same types of numbers that we've seen the last few seasons, potentially even more, Chelsea are a real threat. 42 goals and 26 assists across the last 2 seasons for Chelsea. If we see a 20-goal, 10-assist season again this year, it could be a chance for the title. So Cole Palmer, that magic, that pizzazz in the final third, they'll want to see it again. He's going to be the most important player. He will be the cog that gets this Chelsea side turning and charging towards a Premier League title. Crystal Palace's most important player for me is Maxence Lacroix, off the back of a very impressive season, replacing Joachim Andersen and doing better than the former Palace centre-half last year. Fantastic in the FA Cup final. Consistently solid in this back five, allowing the likes of Munoz and Tyrick Mitchell to push on and become those wide attacking players because of how solid he was at the back. We know about his speed, we know about his tackling ability, but for me, something that shone last season was his aerial ability as well. Much more physically present than what I thought. We'll need that same level of Maxence Lacroix this season at Crystal Palace. Again, want to keep pushing up the ladder. Last few seasons, they've started really, really slowly and played catch-up. If they can start much better, led by this man at the back, keeping clean sheets, Palace could have a half sniff of European football and to remain back in there for another season going into 25-26. So look to Maxence Lacroix alongside Mark Guéhi to be the centrepieces of this Crystal Palace side this season. The important player for Everton is James Tarkowski, the skipper. He's going to be pivotal once again. He's been there now for the last 3 seasons at Everton and every year has proven why he was worth signing. We know what David Moyes' system is built on counter-attacking football. It's built on pragmatic styles and sitting in deep and absorbing pressure. And James Tarkowski knows how to do this. He's probably the best at it in the Premier League in terms of centre-halves. He is fantastic last line of defence. Averaged 6.3 ball recoveries, 2 tackles per game last season for Everton in the Premier League. Those style of stats and more will be required, especially with some change in the side, losing some talent. It's going to be on that last line of the defence for Everton if they want to stay clear of that relegation zone. David Moyes' system, as I said, relies on solid centre-halves, and James Tarkowski is that. He will be pivotal. He will be super, super important for Everton this season, and they'll need him at his tip-top best. Alex Iwobi is going to be Fulham's most important player this season. He was probably Fulham's most important player last season. A career year, 9 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League. A man that can be Mr. Fix-It, can play in behind the striker, out on the left, can even support the midfield as well. I think his work rate with and without the football is his biggest strength, and physicality in the football that not many people can really dispossess him. He has the ability to link the game up going forward, support Anthony Robertson and how high he gets up the pitch at left back. He is the ultimate utility player, can fill in any hole and do a job. And Marco Silva's teams are all about structure, all about system. And Alex Iwobi, again, will be the centrepiece to that. If we get a 10-goal, 10-assist type season for Iwobi, if he continues to improve on his output going forward, will Fulham have a real chance to really make a bolt up the table. Haven't lost many names, a very similar squad to last season. They were building as the year went on. It's all about consistency for Fulham, and Alex Iwobi can be the leader of that. Mr. Consistent this side here. If he can continue to do his job and do it at a 7 to 8 out of 10, Fulham elevate themselves to one of the top 10 in the Premier League. So look to Alex Iwobi to be the leader and the most important player for Fulham this season. Leeds United are a new team back into the Premier League, but it's one of the former Leeds players who played in the Premier League a few seasons ago, Willy Gnonto, who I think will be the most important player for the club this season. Not too many blockbuster signings joining the club. They're just backing in their talent from last year, and there's a hell of a lot of talent. And Willy Gnonto will have to contribute more consistent in the Premier League than what he did 2 seasons ago. Yes, he was fantastic. He dazzled on the Premier League stage, but it's about consistency of performances which separate relegated sides to sides you stay safe. And this guy here, he has that quality, he has that star X factor, but can we see it across 38 games this season? I think he's a real linchpin to how well Leeds can do. If he can show us 38 games of consistent attacking football, putting defenders on their backsides, quick step overs and getting past and getting to the bar line, scoring important goals, Leeds may stay safe. But if he floats in and out of games, has patches when he's good, has patches when he's poor, I can't see Leeds staying up. He is super important to this football club, being relevant this season. The other clubs have spent some serious money that have come up. Leeds have not. Willy Gnonto will be key. He's seen the Premier League before. Can he do it this time around for Leeds United? Liverpool's most important player is Virgil van Dijk. Yes, they've got the names like Ekitike, Isak may be joining as well, Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo. The names go on and on and on. But for me, Virgil van Dijk holds this side together. He is the glue for this football club, the skipper, the leader, the guy that no one can really replicate. No one can quite defend like Virgil van Dijk. And with all the attacking players that Liverpool have available to them, they're going to get caught on the break a lot this season. But who's the one player you trust to defend to make a 3-on-1 counter-attack? It's probably Virgil van Dijk. So good in the air, important goals, so speedy, closes spaces, he does it all. And I think it's really underrated the role that he plays week in, week out. You might not see him make those ridiculous challenges or score those match-winning goals, but the small things, the way he structures his side up, the leader he is on and off the football pitch, he's invaluable. And he is definitely Liverpool's most important player in all facets. Training pitch, off the pitch, on the pitch, the face of the football club. Virgil van Dijk is that guy. If they're going to go back-to-back with all this talent they've got, they need a leader that can keep them in line. And Virgil van Dijk is the guy to do it, to hold them down defensively, to lead them on the pitch. Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool, he is their most important player. It goes without saying, Rodri is Manchester City's most important player. I don't know where City would be without this guy here. He is just so important. We saw it last season. The ACL injury just ended Manchester City's season. It derailed them. They lost that control, that inevitability in midfield. He just links the game up so well, protecting that back four that can look so vulnerable at times. He is there. He is everywhere, it feels like, on the pitch. Has vision on the football, can break lines, and just shows his impact on the Spanish national team in this Man City side. And we saw it. Sometimes it takes the player to be missing to see how good they actually are, and we saw that last season. He'll be vital again this season to allow Tijani Reinders to grow into this football club, to link the game up for Man City, to protect that back four, and most importantly, keep Man City in possession. Rodri is the man. There's a reason why he's the current Ballon d'Or holder. He is vital for Man City this season. I believe Matheus Cunha is going to be Manchester United's most important player this season. It goes without saying Bruno Fernandes is the man for United so far and across the last 5 years, but Cunha joining has to take on a lot of that load, has to take the pressure off Bruno Fernandes and really add a energy and a chance creation ability in the final third. United have lacked that across the last season and a half, look blunt, look void of ideas in the final third. Matheus Cunha comes into this side off the back of a 17-goal, 6-assist season last year for Wolves, single-handedly keeping them up with his attacking output. We need that and more at United this season to support Bruno Fernandes, to create for Rasmus Hojlund, Joshua Zirkzee, and potentially Benjamin Sesko if he joins the football club, to add a different avenue so people don't triple and double team Bruno Fernandes, and to find his groove very, very quickly is going to be so, so important. There is a lot of pressure at Manchester United, but if anyone can shoulder that pressure, it looks like it's going to be Matheus Cunha. He is pivotal United this season. He can elevate this team from being mid-table relegation battle type season up into a European contender for next year. Massive season for him to come. Can he do it? I believe he really can. Bruno Guimaraes is Newcastle's undoubtedly most important player. They have lost a lot of talent. He's looking like he's out the door. They've got new signings at Anthony Alanga, but this team looks like it's really lost the transfer window. No Ekitike, Isaac on the way out. They need a heartbeat, and Bruno Guimaraes brings that. Intensity, physicality, aggression in midfield. He leads this side. When he goes on the pitch there and stamps his authority, everyone else rises to match his energy. And in a European season where they're going to have to balance 2 games a week, he is going to be that heartbeat which this club needs. And many may say, yes, you can put some other players into his role, but no one can really replicate what Bruno Guimaraes brings to the table for this Newcastle United side. I think if he plays well this season, they can stay afloat. If he's slightly off it or not available due to injury, I think Newcastle, their season totally derails. Bruno Guimaraes is going to be central this season, Newcastle United, for them staying in that European hunt and actually competing on the European stage this season. Nottingham Forest's most important player for me has to be Murillo. Last year, built off counter-attacking football, defending in a low block, and being solid defensively. They've gone from being the hunters to the hunted, and as such, they're going to have to make sure they're really, really solid at the back, and Murillo's going to be that guy. Fantastic last season. Gives off a vibe of an experienced veteran at the back, the way he just defends so well. He averaged 1.5 tackles per game, 6.7 clearances per game. He was a part of 11 clean sheets. They're going to need that and more this season. They're balancing 2 games a week, being on the European stage. And as I said, they are becoming the hunted this year. People will know how to get at Nottingham Forest. He's going to have to hold it down defensively alongside Milenkovic to keep Nottingham Forest in games of football. I believe he can do that. I believe he can keep them solid. And we know that Forest build from the back. If he's solid at the back, the foundations are there for them to go and play their great counter-attacking football. He's super, super important to this football club. He is the centrepiece for me in many regards. So look to Murillo to be Nottingham Forest's heartbeat, to be their most important player, and to be the driving force for their season in 25-26. Sunderland's newest signing, Granit Xhaka, will be their most important player this season. They have made a boatloads of signing in this summer here, Sunderland, and they come up with the belief that they can stay up with all these new talent. But I think Granit Xhaka is that tip-top quality that can keep them safe this season. The last 2 years, he is probably up there amongst the top 4, top 3 holding midfielders in world football. Was a part of an invincible title for Bayer Leverkusen. Most consistent player in their side across the last 2 seasons in many regards. And his ability to dictate the game, to score goals from long range, to be a threat in midfield with his ability to win the ball back and then possess the football, elevated Sunderland from a potential team to stay up to maybe a side that can get into the mid-table. He has that effect in this football club. Someone that's played in the Premier League before, has captained Arsenal. He knows how to take on that role. An experienced player, 32 years of age. I think he is going to be massive alongside Enzo Lefebvre in midfield. He is their most important player this season. If he does what he was doing at Leverkusen across the last 2 seasons, Sunderland will be easily safe. That's the type of effect that Granit Xhaka can have in this football club. We know that midfield battles are pivotal in the Premier League, and he could be the man to drive Sunderland well and truly to safety this season. It's a fresh start for Spurs, but Mickey van der Ven, I believe, is going to be their most important player, truly just down to his availability. Mickey van der Ven has been someone that's been inconsistently available. It hurt Ange's side, especially with the style of football they tried to play. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be a little bit more pragmatic under Thomas Frank, but his athleticism, his speed, his assurance at the back is something that Spurs just need. They crave for. That Europa League final, that crazy clearance off the goal line. He just has so much assurance about him. He gives Tottenham belief when he plays alongside Christian Moreira at the back. And I think if he's available for 80 to 85% of the season, Spurs are a serious side to be looked at. But if he's not there as consistency, the side becomes a little bit weaker. They lack that real belief, I think, and they look much easier to go through. And yes, it's going to be a different system. They might look more solid defensively, but they can go play a little bit more expansive when they've got Romero alongside Van de Ven. When Van de Ven's not there, you have to worry. You have to be a little bit deeper, a little bit more pragmatic, and it takes away from that attacking style of football, which Spurs love to play, and the talent they've got up top. So massive, massive season for Van de Ven. Just being there for the Spurs side is going to be his most important factor this season. It goes without saying, Jarrod Bowen is the most important player for West Ham this season. He is their best player in what has been a really, really average side. No major signings. The manager and Graham Potter not doing too much with this team. There is a lot of just negativity around West Ham. If there's one man that can bail them out, it will be Jarrod Bowen. That 23-24 season, we scored 20 goals and got the 10 assists, is the level of Jarrod Bowen I think we're going to need to see from him next season, because there's a real threat of West Ham going down this season coming up. Aging talent, squad lacking refreshing key talents like Paqueta leaving the football club. It's looking very, very dour, looking sour at the football club. If there's any man that can save them, it's Jarrod Bowen. Look to him to be the catalyst in the final third. Look to him to ignite some energy in this West Ham side, and look to him to single-handedly keep them safe this season. Wolves' most important player for me is Emmanuel Agbadou. Coming in the January last season, he was fantastic. In his 16 Premier League appearances, averaged the 7.06 match rating, 2 tackles and 6 clearances per game for Wolves. Scored an important goal in there as well, and I think is probably the most underrated player coming into this season in the Premier League. He was fantastic for Wolves, and when they've lost talent like Cunha, who can score so many goals and add so much in the final third for this Wolves side, the onus goes into the defence to be solid first, to allow the attack to come second. And I think the role he played last season, the way he added assurance, he added solidity and belief into this Wolves side, that's something you can build on again this season. I think he instills so much confidence with his strength defensively, no-nonsense defensive action, and his physicality. Wolves can build off that. He can be the backbone which the team can build from. Then he can build out from the back and let the team go and express himself going forward. But Agbadou, as that key player at the heart of the defence, if he's at his best, Wolves will be well and truly safe. If he's a little bit off his game, if Wolves start leaking goals, I can't see them having enough threat going forward to really match it. And as such, you can see them sort of dropping back into a relegation scrap. So Agbadou, for me, pivotal, vital for Wolves this season and for them avoiding the drop this year. There you go, guys. All 20 teams' most important player for the season to come up. Again, not always the most skillful player, not often the most highest goal-scoring player. It can be the niche players. And I think that's what makes this sort of segment so fun to talk about. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have I got it right? Have I got it wrong? Let me know who you think your club's most important player is in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, guys, smash a like on it, subscribe to the Players Zone channel, press that post notification bell. I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. The Premier League is just around the corner, guys, so get excited. Until next time, guys. See you later.